has a high ankle sprain. Kadarius Toney hamstring tightened up. Thornhill has a left calf that he strained, and then Jalen Watson hurt his hand, but we'll see where that goes from here. But other than that, listen, a great football game. Our fans were unbelievable, the ones that were here, and we appreciate that. Brandon Staley's done a heck of a job with this football team, and these games come right down to the last series. I mean, it can go either way. I was proud of our guys for stepping up and doing a nice job offensively that last series that they had, and defensively the last series that the defense had. So that's big time football at the right time, and much appreciated. So Kelce again had another 100-yard game. He's done a nice job with that. It was good to get Pacheco 100 yards. I mean, we needed that today, every yard of it. It was good to see some of the young guys step up, whether it was Watson having a start and Sky stepping in there and doing a nice job on the offensive side. Defensively, Bolton was all over the place. I mean, he's been doing that all year. So, and then Dana had some nice rushes. Chris, he's a great player and made a great play when great players make them. So did a nice job on that interception. He actually caused that to take place. I mean, I could keep going. The offensive line, Pat Mahomes, I mean, what are you going to say there? So he calms everything down, both sides of the ball he helps out with. And Kelce does the same, and Chris and Frank, and it was good to have Frank back, Frank, and also Bolton. So all those guys, the good players really stepped up and calmed things down when it was needed. So anyways, with that, time's yours.
How calm were you with 1:46 left and having to face what you did as many times as you've done this, but down really about 3 pretty prime targets?
Yeah, didn't even think about that part. We just went in and saying, this is what we have to do. Pat doesn't worry about all that. He just goes in and plays. I mean, these guys, they all practice. Joe rotates all of them. Tom Melvin does the same. And so whoever goes in and plays. And we that's how we roll. Now, as far as practicing it, we spent so much time on that during camp, working on it, and for it to pay off is a good thing. And it seems like every time we come here, it comes down to something like this. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Andy, you explain how the sort of new faces can be integrated in moments like this that goes all the way back to camp.
Yeah, sure. Well, that and then rotating them in practice. So we've got a lot of rookies that finished that game. So it was neat to see them step up and do what they did, whether it was in the secondary or linebacker or wide receiver. So I mean, it was a neat thing to see those guys do that.
And you're not suggesting that Kelce is ever something less than valuable to you guys, but you feel like he was maybe more than ever tonight, given?
Well, you know what he battled. They had a plan for him, Adam. I mean, they were going to bang him around, and then they put an all-pro safety on him. So with number 3, and so he had to fight like crazy the whole game, and kind of come up with things on the fly to get himself open. But, it's a tribute to the Chargers and the way they did it, but it's also a great tribute to Kelce for battling through.
Sorry. Hey, Coach, can you explain how a guy like Pacheco can last to the 7th round, and what did you guys see in him in that process?
Yeah, so, I mean, really, you saw tonight, Brett Veach's, how good he is at doing his job, and Pacheco's one of those guys. He and his crew just they study it. They see what fits into what we do, and then they're willing to pull the trigger at the right time. So and evaluate kind of where they think guys are going to fall, which is it's an art. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do. Oh, you can overdraft guys, you can underdraft, but at the same time, you're talking about guys that you want to come in and play at least within a year or two, and you know.
Since you've had him, what are some of the things that have impressed you? Because his playing time has obviously increased as the season's gone on.
Yeah, sure. So I would tell you that his growth in the pass protection part of it, even though he had a tough one today with when 3 blitzed, but his pass protection, we were confident in that. His patience, I thought, was good. We've been working on that, and I thought he did a nice job with that. So not necessarily speed to the hole, but speed through the hole. And you could see him let the offensive lineman get it set up and work to the linebacker level guys and then go and hit it as opposed to being indecisive. So he did a nice job.
Coach, guys had some up and down moments since the start of the season. How beneficial is a game like today for his confidence?
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, he had the punt returns that were a bit of a mess, but he had never done that, and so we just, I mean, the guys kept encouraging him through this, whether it was his coach Joe or whether Connor. I mean, they just kept encouraging. Then the players stuck by him. I mean, they could see how talented he was, and nobody looked at him cross-eyed, and that peer pressure is the strongest pressure in that case.
Andy, in some ways, it probably defies description, the chemistry between Patrick and Travis, and you've tried to address it a lot of times, but I do wonder if there's any way to get your arms around what they're able to do with each other and out there.
Yeah, no, listen, we're a part of it, and that's the fun part. You'd like it to last forever, but these guys grow old, and it's not. So what I do is I try to enjoy every minute of it, every play. And their chemistry is ridiculous. Coming into this game that they had a plan for Kelce, and we were able to, he was able to work. He and Pat were able to work through it and made some nice things happen.
Coming into training camp, we were talking about Mahomes trying to get everybody on the same page, new faces, and in this game we saw some of the same things with injuries. What does it take to get everybody on the same page, and then you have a minute 46 to go down and get a touchdown? Yeah,
well, sometimes there's not a lot of thinking involved, and you just go play. And whether you're the receiving part of that or you're the quarterback throwing it. And that's what I saw. I saw guys just, listen, you have to be there, and they were there. And I know I've got to get there, and I fight like crazy to make sure I'm there. And there's a time when you just have to get down to that part of it, and I thought the guys did that.
Andy, the feeling of belief must be off the charts when you got Patrick doing that. I mean, a minute 46, is there we know we're going to win this game?
Yeah, well, yeah, we've done it with 13 seconds, so a minute just seemed like an eternity. Matter of fact, I thought we gave them too much time because that other guy's pretty good too. So, yes, he gives you that confidence. The more you're around him, the more you watch him do what he does, you have a shot.
Coach, what does a win like this say with your rookies, Isaiah Pacheco, Watson, Sky Moore stepping up to the plate when we need it most?
Yeah, no, they do it. They've done a nice job of working hard, and it hasn't come just natural and easy. They've had to work their tail off to get themselves in a position where the quarterback trusts them or the coaches trust them to play them. So we appreciate that effort that they put forward. And I mentioned a little bit earlier that Brett Veach has done a nice job. I mean, you're seeing the results of this with all these young guys playing. And we appreciate that as a coaching staff.
Coach, you said Edwards Hilaire had a high ankle sprain. Does that indicate it's a serious?
Yeah, I mean, he's a tough kid, but that doesn't look good. I mean, high ankle sprains with running backs aren't always the best. So we'll see how he does in his recovery here. But It's pretty tender right now, yeah.
Feel like he's going to go on IR?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't got that far.